Now on Studio G, we have the details about the recently proposed tax reform bill.
Plus, we talk about the resignation of a CSUN official.
And we sit down with Riyadh Rollins to talk about UNLV's red carpet films. You don't want to miss it.
All this and so much more. Studio G starts right now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Studio G. I'm Caitlin Knapp.
And I'm Joaquin O'Malley.
The U.S. Senate passed a tax reform bill early Saturday morning. The bill was approved in a 51-49 vote, with Tennessee Senator Bob Corker being the only Republican to vote no on the measure. President Donald Trump addressed the bill's approval.
Out of 52 Republican senators, 51 voted, and we ended up doing it, and we didn't need our great vice president to break the tie, Mike. We didn't need Mike. We didn't need anything. We voted. The Democrats left before the vote was even, somebody said started. Somebody said before it was over. I don't even care. But we got no Democrat help, and I think that's going to cost them very big in the election because basically they voted against tax cuts. And I don't think politically it's good to vote against tax cuts.
In total, the cuts would amount to a little under $1.5 trillion in revenue over a decade. Democrats warned that Republicans were making a political mistake with the bill that would increase taxes on middle-class families. However, Republicans are hoping to have the bill signed into law by Christmas.
The Supreme Court is upholding the Trump administration's travel ban. This is the first time justices have allowed any addition of the ban to entirely go forward. Some of the justices might be distinguishing the latest version from previous iterations, and most likely to rule in favor of the ban in the future. Issued in September, the third edition of the travel ban placed varying levels of restrictions on foreign nationals from 8 countries including Chad, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Syria, Venezuela, Somalia, and Yemen, which are all predominantly Muslim countries. Lower courts in 2 separate challenges have partially blocked the ban. The order is significant temporarily win for the Trump administration, meaning that the travel ban can be enforced, while challenges to the policy make their way through the legal system.
The International Olympic Committee has banned the Russian Olympic Committee from participating in the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea. According to their website, the decision was made after an investigation into systematic doping under the ROC. However, athletes who can provide proof of being clean still have the option to participate under the Olympic flag.
Congressman Ruben Kihuen has been accused of sexual harassment by a former campaign staffer. The recent BuzzFeed report revealed allegations stating he, quote, pre-positioned her for dates and sex despite her repeated rejections. On 2 occasions, she says he touched her thighs without consent. Despite allegations, Kihuen vowed that he will not resign from his post, but he has accused the DCCC and Nancy Pelosi of being aware of the allegations. Both the DCC and Pelosi denied the claim of their knowledge.
CSUN student body vice president, Beatrice Debelin resigned from her position Monday night. Debelin resigned just before the CSUN Senate held a hearing for her impeachment trial. Liberal Arts Senator Samantha Bivens filed for impeachment charges in November. Bivens claimed that Debelin failed to provide several Senate reports. Upon her resignation, Debelin said, quote, it is necessary I vacate this office to focus my time and energy on my well-being and future.
When we come back, we'll have more of your local news.
And we have your weather forecast coming up. We'll be right back after the break.
I really enjoy doing my show. I love all types of rock, and that's why I'm doing Rock Through the Decades. We play the 50s all the way to today's rock music or rock bands. I want them to get the appreciation of how much rock has changed over the years and how it's still really great. You can never kill rock. I mean, rock is like the way to be, the way to go. The name of my show is Rock Through the Decades, and I am Rockin' Gemini. You can listen to this on the Rebel HD2 network.
As far as Studio G, At first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing, you get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
The show's name is the Rebel and Revolt Show. Pretty good show about, just someone who will actually talk about UNLV the way an outsider might feel. We talk about current events, we talk about politics, try to take an offensive swing with it. Sometimes it's hit or miss, and then we talk about, the little things in life that everybody laughs about. And we are the Rebels and we are revolting. My name is Jameson Wilk and I run the Rebel and Revolt Show, and you can tune in at therebelhd2.com.
Welcome back, Rebels.
Let's get back into your local news.
UNLV has a goal to reach top-tier rankings, but with more students attending the university, larger classes, and a high demand for instructors may be a problem. UNLV President Len Jessup at last year's Nevada Board of Regents meeting proposed his 9-year strategic plan to reach top-tier ranking. Part of the plan includes increasing the number of students who attend the university to help reach their goal. UNLV plans to increase the number of students enrolled at least 2% per year, and the university seems to be on track. Last year, the university's acceptance rate was 86%, and this year, the school jumped up to 88%. With more students attending, classes are maxing out their room capacities, and both students and professors are feeling its effects.
The real reason this is happening is because of growth in the state and declining budgets for higher education. And this isn't just happening in Nevada, it's happening across the country. And so what happens? Well, we hire fewer faculty and we push the numbers up. That's why there's been an increase.
When I'm working in my research methods class and the professor is walking around answering questions, it'll take a good 20 minutes just for him to get to me to help me with my questions because the class size is so large. And then on top of that, just the classrooms are really cramped. There's not enough seats and it's just really cramped in the classrooms.
The Nevada Board of Regents prioritizes its funding, but with budget cuts and less instructors being hired, classes are forced to increase with few instructors teaching them. Students say that registering for classes causes problems when the classes they need get full fast, forcing them to delay their graduation date. The UNLV Medical School, as well as the brand new hospitality building set to open next month, will play a huge role in reaching top-tier ranking, but also in bringing in even more students to the university. The UNLV 9-year strategic plan is set to increase its attendance from currently enrolled 28,000 students to over 36,000 by the end of their strategic plan.
Last Friday, UMC Hospital held an event to address the dangers of drinking and driving with high school students across the valley. We sent Studio G reporter Brianna Haney down to the event to find out more about how they're helping to protect the next generation of drivers.
On Friday, December 1st, the University Medical Center hosted the 13th annual You Drink, You Drive, You Lose event. The campaign brought together high school students from across the valley to emphasize the dangers of driving while under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
I'm on the heavy rescue with the city. We do all the extrications throughout the valley with anybody that's trapped in a car or anything, and a lot of the accidents that we do run on are people that are impaired by marijuana or alcohol.
The students heard speeches from distinguished community members such as Mayor Goodman and Clark County Commissioner Lawrence Weekly, as well as speeches by members of the community who have been personally impacted by drunk driving.
His murderer has 5 DUIs, attended impact panel, went to DUI school, but never learned his lesson. He continued to offend until he killed my son.
After the speakers had finished, the high school students had the opportunity to view a simulated rollover car crash rescue. They experienced a seatbelt convincer and had the chance to try on special goggles to create the effect of drunk vision. Melanie Bangle, a paramedic with Community Ambulance, says she tried the drunk goggles for herself.
It was really difficult. I could not walk the line. It made me feel really, really dizzy and off balance. So it was fun to do, but it's insane how impaired it makes you feel. And it shows you exactly how impaired you are just from a couple drinks. So it's pretty neat.
At the end of the event, the students were urged to use designated drivers or rideshare apps if they choose to drink in the future. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Brianna Haney.
If you would like to learn more information about the annual You Drink, You Drive, You Lose event, you can visit umcsn.com.
If you're trying to get into the holiday spirit, Magical Forest is back at Opportunity Village with its bright lights, fun rides, and even a photo op with Santa himself. If those lights aren't enough for you, drive through the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for their glittering lights for you and your family. Or experience its holidays Las Vegas style at the Cosmopolitan Hotel and Casino Ice Rink for s'mores and a view of the Strip. With all of those events happening around the valley, it's starting to feel like the holidays, but will we be getting those holiday temperatures? Caitlin Knapp has your weather forecast.
Good afternoon, Rebels. This morning it was 50 degrees outside. It's very sunny today, but the winds are a little high, not too bad. It's about 6 miles per hour, humidity about 14%. And if we take a look at our temperatures in the valley, Centennial Hills is 49 degrees. Kind of in the mid part of the valley, it's 55 in. Over in Henderson and Boulder City, it's 54 degrees and 51 degrees. Boulder City is actually under a wind advisory right now until 8 o'clock tonight, so just be careful if you are going to be in Boulder City. Now we're going to take a look at our picture of the day. This is out of California. Kind of almost looks like something out of a movie. There have been several fires out there. The newest fire is Skirball Fire, and that's near Bel Air, and there are mandatory evacuations. Now, that fire is just about 50 acres, but it is spreading. The other three fires are the Thomas Fire, which is about 65,000 acres, and Creek Fire, which is about 11,000 acres, and both of those are not contained whatsoever. And near Valencia, California, the Rye Fire is about 7,000 acres, and that's 5% contained. So there's a lot of damage going on right now. There's only been one related death. It was a car accident, but it was related to this fire. So we just want to keep our thoughts with California. And if we're taking a look at our national forecast, there aren't any temperatures on this map, but what I do want to point out is the high pressure system over here. That high pressure system has wind that circulates counterclockwise, and the wind kind of just sprawls up into that high pressure system, and it's going to go over towards California and bring in cold air, but the winds aren't going to help contain these fires. But if you look over in the south, a lot of rain just kind of rolling through with the low pressure system near the Gulf of Mexico. Now, if we're taking a look at our forecast for today, 55 degrees outside with a high of 62. It is going to be a little windy, but not too bad. And if we're taking a look at our temperature tonight, 51 degrees outside, it is going to be very clear, light wind, about 11 miles per hour. So just make sure you bring a jacket because there might be a wind chill. Now, if we take a look at our 5-day forecast today, 62 degrees is going to be our high. Our lows are going to stay in the 40s, and through the rest of the week, we're going to be in the low to the mid 60s. And that's your 5-day forecast, but we are going to take a quick break. But when we come back, Joaquin Lomali will be sitting down with UNLV's Red Carpet Films to talk about their latest project. We'll be right back.
As far as Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing, you get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own, and that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
I'm Kylie O'Rourke.
I'm Shervin Mushuri.
I'm Langston Carter.
Hi, I'm Holly.
My name is Anna.
My name is Jameson Wilk.
Window on the Middle East.
Spinning Indie.
Good News with Holly.
It's Jazz and a Touch of Soul.
It's Latin Nights with Anna.
The Rebel and Revolt Show.
And you can check it out on therebelhd2.com.
Welcome back to Studio G. I'm sitting here with Riyadh Rollins from the UNLV Red Carpet Films. Thank you so much for being out here with us today.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, for our viewers who may not know a lot about Red Carpet Films, talk to us about that. What is all that about?
Sure. Well, Red Carpet Films is essentially an organization here on campus that aims to give students an opportunity to gain valuable film experience that they'll see later on after graduation in the film sector. So that goes from the creation and development of films, also into the marketing and distribution of them.
Oh, cool. So exactly how did you get involved with this?
Oh, well, when our founder, Sharice Mason, was looking to both start and grow the film club, she came to different film classes to sit in and basically give her spiel about, hey, this is what I'm about, this is what I'm looking to do. And so she came into the advanced directing class where, coincidentally, I had a scene that went up. And so my scene was screened, and afterwards she talked to me and we had discussion. She really enjoyed my work, and I ended up acting and being the lead in the first Red Carpet film.
Oh, wow.
And
that's awesome.
It was pretty cool. It was a fun experience. And from there, my involvement kind of just continued to grow from, you know, creative development and also now being a communication specialist for the group.
And, you know, talk to us about some of the short films that were made. What were some of the productions that you guys worked on?
Oh, well, we've done a film called Aftermath. We've done a film called Ready to Play Me, which is where I played a character struggling with his sexuality as well as the loss of his father. And we also did a film called Rest in Resistance, which took a look at the relationship between people of color and law enforcement, and how when those relationships can turn fatal, how those stories or those incidences become tragedies, and how they are sort of sensationalized by both social media and mass media, and the distortion of those stories, almost like that game Telephone we used to play in elementary, where, you know, it starts out as pink pajamas, and then as the story gets told from person to person, it turns into purple elephants or something. You know?
Right. And specifically with this film, talk to us, what was the whole inspiration that kind of came behind, you know, creating this production?
Well, I think we hear stories oftentimes about, you know, people of color and their incidents with the police, and those incidents that turn fatal. And we see it's sort of a broad story, right? You hear a lot of times, oh, innocent, unarmed person, villainous police officer, and we wanted to humanize everyone in the situation, right? We wanted to tell a story and not say what's right or what's wrong, but just say, hey, these are people and these are the interactions and this is what can happen. So we have two young girls that are coming back from studying and that are heading off into a party, and a couple of police officers see them, ask for identification. Well, I didn't do anything wrong, so why do I need to? And it's sort of how that progresses. But also we see the police officers, they have their own story. And so, you know, essentially everyone wants to make it home at the end of the day. But when that doesn't happen and these stories get told and they're told through different outlets, we wanted to take a look at the effects of that.
And does Red Carpet Films have any goals coming forward?
Going forward, we because we're a student-ran organization, we really it's nice because we get a chance to tell stories that really mean something to us. So aside from just having the opportunity to gain experience by working in film, we also get to sort of just tell whatever stories we have that are brewing in our head. Our next project is called Quick Fix, and it was created by one of our members, Egypt Hamilton. And it's this pretty cool story about these two friends that get tired of their other friend complaining about her boyfriend, and so they decide, let's kill him. But then they actually do.
Oh, wow.
And it's this dark comedy, and it's I know it sounds really grim, but it's a hilarious script. We read through it, worked out some of the plot holes, and that's going to be our next project on the horizon.
And for our viewers who want to get like more information on Red Carpet Films, as far as like productions, like where they can go see them, get more information, where can they go?
They can actually just email us simply at rebcarpetfilms at gmail.com. That's REB Carpets Film at gmail.com. And we're having auditions pretty soon, and we'll be blasting out information for Quick Fix. So as long as we get an email or just attend one of our meetings Mondays at 6 p.m. in the Student Union, room 219, we're there. Come hang out and get involved with cast and crew or any other aspects of our film projects.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. We appreciate
Thanks a lot,
you stopping by. But unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. Again, thank you for joining us today. But right now, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have all your latest entertainment coming up.
It's awesome. I didn't know what I was getting into. I thought it was just going to be fun, just me in a room playing music. And it's blossomed into something beyond what I imagined. Like, people just love it. There's like, a lot of people are eager and excited to be a part of UNLV radio. A lot of people didn't even know UNLV had a radio station, so I'm glad to be bringing that awareness to the Vegas community.
It feels great. It's a great accomplishment because it starts as something that nobody knows about, and you get to build it from the ground up. So it builds your work ethic. It also gives you a sense of accomplishment when it's like, man, we made it. We did something. We made something that nobody else has made. So
it's great to be part of the student community and having to bring something to the student body with music, which is one of my passions.
I feel like it's giving me a voice, and not just for me, but for people who have something they are passionate about. And I just want to keep that conversation going and let other people see what we're talking about here.
It's amazing to have an opportunity to play whatever it is that you want to play. It's also a great way to connect and meet with new artists, great people, just music lovers in general.
What's up, it's your girl Scribe Cash. This is
the Prince Madison. This is the Takeover.
Played by the video games Live Orchestra.
Yeah, on Twitter at Miles Low Music and
Music Mondays. Rap, hip hop, R&B too. I like to play like any new upcoming music, new albums, new mixtapes. I like to open up with maybe kind of like a hype song that gives people energy. Just play any type of good music and then give people like a rundown what's going on currently in hip hop. Just good vibes, good music. A lot of radio stations don't keep up with playing good music. So that's really the goal. This is Jalen Young on More Than Music Mondays. Check me out on the Rebel HD2.
My goal is to be an on-air personality, and that's what my career is. It feels really incredible because I've been wanting to do something like this for my whole entire life since I was little.
I mean, it's an opportunity to express myself, get my voice out in public, and get heard for things that I feel strongly about.
This station helped me out a lot, gave me a lot of information I didn't know about a radio station in general.
I mean, it was really easy to get a show here. I took the classes and did the shadowing. They give you a lot of freedom to do what you like, and I feel like there's a lot of support in places you can get answers to.
It's just an incredible experience because I could take what I learned here and I could turn it into something more.
Welcome back to Studio G.
Here are today's top entertainment news stories. Pixar's animated film Coco topped the box office again this week for 2 weekends straight, and it leads the 2018 Annie Awards with 13 nominations, including Best Animated Feature. Coco follows the story of a young boy named Miguel hoping to reach his dreams of becoming a musician. Miguel finds his way to the land of the dead and goes on an adventure to find out about his family history. Despite viewers being vocal about plot similarities between Coco and the 2014 movie The Book of Life, Coco is up for Annie Awards in the categories of editorial and writing in an animated feature production. According to BuzzFeed, actress and musician Selena Gomez, who made history for being the first person to have 100 million followers on Instagram, made her Instagram page private yesterday. Although she has not made an official announcement about her decision, there is speculation that it may have to do with a deleted story post that Gomez made showing an excerpt from a Billboard magazine interview. Gomez wrote over the picture saying, quote, "Never will I let another human guess my words ever again." She was recently named Billboard's Woman of the Year, which leads fans to feel that her post and making her page private aren't connected.
Singer and songwriter Melanie Martinez, who appeared on the third season of NBC's The Voice, angered fans when responding to a sexual assault accusation. The former friend and aspiring singer Timothy Heller took to Twitter to reveal that Martinez had sexually assaulted her during a sleepover. Heller stated that she wasn't sure if her story would be taken seriously, but wanted people to know that girls can rape girls and best friends can rape best friends. Martinez responded by saying, quote, "She never said no to what we chose to do together." This response received criticism from fans, including actress Abigail Breslin, who said the response was unacceptable because no doesn't mean yes. According to TMZ, Chester Bennington's autopsy report was released. The report showed that he had a trace amount of alcohol in his system when he hung himself. The autopsy and toxicology results obtained by the TMZ showed the Linkin Park singer's blood tested positive for ecstasy. But after 2 additional tests, the ultimate conclusion was that he had been under the influence of drug when he died.
Singer John Mayer was taken to a New Orleans hospital Tuesday for an emergency appendectomy. Mayer was in the city to perform the Grateful Dead offshoot group Dead & Company when he fell ill. Their New Orleans concert yesterday has been postponed and was rescheduled for a later date. It is unclear if any of his future concert dates will be affected.
A soldier surprised his Philadelphia 76ers dancer girlfriend at Saturday night's game. Sergeant Elliot Burgos returned from an overseas deployment a week early but did not tell his girlfriend of 3 years. Burgos surprised her in front of 20,000 people.
How you doing, everyone? This is Sergeant Burgos with the 978 CSC at a camp here in Kuwait. I want to give a holiday shout out to my friends, my family, and Sixers Nation, and especially to my girlfriend Angela, who is a Sixers dancer in her rookie year. Wait, that's not right.
Please welcome home Sergeant Elliot Burgos. Sergeant Burgos has been deployed for 11 months, stationed at Camp Buring in Kuwait, and was sent out on missions to Jordan. This is Angela's rookie year as a Sixer dancer, and in September, her and Sergeant Burgos celebrated 3 years together. Welcome home, Sergeant Burgos, and thank you for your service.
Twitter has released of the top 10 television shows talked about most on their app. Pretty Little Liars lands at number 10 on the list. Stranger Things takes second place, with other shows such as The Walking Dead, 13 Reasons Why, and The Voice all making the cut. But what takes number 1? None other than the Game of Thrones taking the cake for the most tweeted about show of 2017.
Now, you're probably going to hate me for this, but I've actually never seen Game of Thrones, Pretty Little Liars, Stranger Things.
I haven't either, so high five to that.
All right.
I love Impractical Jokers. That's my absolute favorite show. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, that's a really good show. I watch it constantly.
They do the most random stuff on there, so I love that show. They're super funny and always a good laugh.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today.
Join us tomorrow for our last Studio G episode of the semester. Have a great day, Rebels.